Are we live? Are we live? Hey, everybody, it's time for Cowboys Saints pregame, the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. I'm Jeff Kavanaugh. We'll have all the matchups to watch, everything that matters, the actives, the inactives. We'll talk to our beat writers out at AT&T Stadium. Oh, my God, here we go. All right, let's do it. Welcome in, everybody. It's time to get ready for Cowboys and Saints. Cowboys trying to do a better job than they did the last time they played in AT&T Stadium when Green Bay beat them by 713 points. Welcome to the pregame show. Welcome to everybody that is in the chat. What do I want from the people in the chat today? What's your favorite pizza topping? Let me know. I need to know. How many receiving yards is CeeDee Lamb going to have today? I need to know. Put them in the chat. Got your matchups to watch. Got why Dak and CeeDee are about to go off. Got the things that the Cowboys need to be the most concerned about. All that stuff is coming up here on the pregame show, but all of it is coming up right after we talk to our friend who is at AT&T Stadium. Let's figure out who's going, who's not going, what it all means, how it's looking out there. Let's say hi to my friend Clarence Hill, 29 years writing for the paper, 27 on the Cowboys beat. Hello, Clarence Hill.
What's up, man? This is my 28th home opener.
28th home opener. Yeah,
28th home. Yes, it's been a long time. And listen, I'm gonna tell you, the Saints fans are here. It's all over the parking lot, tailgating. They've been here since 5 this morning. I got here about 9 or so, and it's parking lots are packed. It's gonna be hyped. And I don't know if you've seen some of the pregame fits. I like the pregame fits, and you got Dak looking like the new sheriff, and you got Overshawn looking like Wyatt Earp, and with his cowboy, he's from Arp, Texas, so he's a real cowboy. But this is gonna be hype. This is special. When you talked about it in the open, this is the first time the Cowboys have officially been at AT&T Stadium for a real game since that embarrassing and still unconscionable loss to the Saints. And last year they were so dominant at home, and it's funny because they have this 16-game home winning streak that dates back 2 years. They're 2 away from the franchise record.
Does that still count?
But the last time they were here, they got blown out and embarrassed. I mean, so is it, so they need to reassert their dominance. They need to reassert their home field. Of course, it doesn't mean anything if they don't win in the playoffs, but right now they do have that stench from Green Bay still in their mouth. Dak talked about it. CeeDee talked about it the last time they were here. They want to give the fans something to cheer about today.
All right, it's Clarence Hill with us. And Clarence, this may be the old school in me, but I think on a pregame show, even though I could just find it on the internet, I need somebody who's out there to give me the inactives and what it means for the Cowboys. Because I know the one that matters. You know the one that matters. Give it to me.
That's the only one that matters. Jake Ferguson's not playing. And that's the rest of them. We already knew John Stevens and the third quarterback. There's really nothing changed. Nick Vigil was called up yesterday, and Noah Fant was elevated yesterday. But yeah, Jake Ferguson is officially not playing after all the optimism during the week, after him practicing and Jerry openly talking about him having a chance to play. The Cowboys are going to err on the side of caution, as they should, with Jake Ferguson, and sit him at least a week. And the good news is that we talked about last week is they did dodge a bullet. It's not a serious injury, but it's also not a 1-week injury. I mean, he needs to get healthy so he can be here for the bulk of the season.
All right, Clarence, have a good time at the game. We'll talk to you in the post game. We love you. Hook 'em horns. All right, bye, Clarence. All right, Chad, it's time to party. It's time to do a pregame show. I'm all by myself. There's no one. I'm all by myself. There's no one here. Oh, my God, Vach Lombardi is on the pregame show.
Kavanaugh.
Oh. You're you. You're not me.
I know, but All right, I'll tell you later. What's up, y'all? Y'all good? Y'all straight? Pre-game vibes? Everybody's all right? Flames in the chat if you feel like it. What's up, y'all?
Okay, yeah. Well, it's good to see you. I was all geared up to be real lonely in the pregame show, and then you just came screaming in. Oh, yes, please hit the like and subscribe button. We sure would appreciate that. Thank you.
I was going to be late. I was going to pull up at game time, and I saw the social media stuff going on, and we was like, hey, we're going to do the post-game show with Vash Lombard. I'm like, hell yeah. And then Jeff was like, but I'm doing the pre by myself. So I'm like, man, I gotta hop in the whip and speed down the highway to come help my boy out though, you know?
Yeah. Well, responsibly.
I was driving fast. And I was supposed to. I was listening to loud rap music. I had these glasses on, and ain't no telling what was in the passenger seat, dog. Yeah, it was cool.
Outstanding. But everybody's still asking for Vach to apologize to Zeke, a guy that I've always been high on. Had an incredible game last week, and they want you to apologize.
Let me tell you what I love about the timing and the developing of the running back situation, right? Zeke will run for, and look, I promise I don't hate Zeke, but y'all brought this up. Look, Zeke will go out there and run 10 for 40. People are like, hey, Vach, you have to apologize. I'm like, cool. And then the very next day, Jordan Mason, who was like the third or fourth running back for the San Francisco 49ers, goes ridiculously crazy. Then we'll go to a Thursday night game, right? And the third running back for the daggum Dolphins, the second running back for the Bills, all look better than our beloved. So yeah, I'm a fan of I'm a fan of Ezekiel Elliott, man. I love 15. He's a Cowboy. He's here. I'm celebrating him and I'm rooting for him.
I love him.
I'm just not goofy. And I understand that we need a little bit of help. All right, but thanks for having me so much on our pregame show here at DLLS, and we hope that Aisha Morrison is feeling much better.
Yeah, Tuai had the body part that there doesn't serve a purpose. The appendix, and it did the stuff that an appendix can do. And then they're like, okay, well, we got to go get it, which goes back to my new take. And my new take is we should circumcise the appendix at birth. Like they do that for no reason.
You want to cut skin off the appendix, but leave it?
No, I want to take it out.
That ain't a circumcision, Jeff.
Well, that's just what I call it.
That's a removal.
That's what I call it.
That's an exit.
But that's not as funny.
That's an extraction.
That's not as funny. Like, why don't we take out the thing that just might hurt us later that doesn't do anything? Let's just go in and get it.
It does something. It's just that we
don't know what.
It breaks down tree bark.
What?
Our ancestors used to eat tree bark.
Okay.
And that's what your appendix does.
I believe you. I believe everything you say. Okay, so we're getting ready for Cowboys and Saints. And I got a bunch of stuff that I want to get through.
Yes, sir.
And I'll throw some of it at you because I asked you this off the air before. I asked Vach, I said, Vach, do you have NFL Pro? And it's a thing you can sign up for, and we pay money sometimes for stuff.
But they don't pay us to say that, so we was just watching the website.
Right. I was just, this is just some stuff that I realized by myself. The Saints offense is so much different this year than it was a year ago.
Sure.
Now that they have a Kubiak running that thing and a Kubiak that was around a Shanahan last year, it looks like a Shanahan offense. And so I saw a bunch of numbers on it, which are pretty wild. Yeah. The Saints under center more than any other offense in week one because it's really fun to do eye candy stuff when you're under center. You could give it to an end around. You could do the blah, 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 blah. You can do a bunch of play action. They used play action on over a third of their dropbacks for the first time since signing Derek Carr. Last season, they were dead last in play action, bottom 6 in motion rate. They now use two-back formations on 37% of their plays in week one, 6% a year ago. They use condensed formations 53% of the time, which is twice as much as they did last year. It is just so much different, and it is going to be so important that old guy Eric Kendricks and all of the young people around him don't eat the cheese. You can't eat the cheese against New Orleans.
So when you're watching film of the Saints from this year, and I watched the film from this year and last year, there's this conflict that you run into, right? You go, okay, are these people like really different? Or is that just like Carolina being ass? Can I say ass on the show?
Yeah.
Or is it just Carolina being ass? So they
run
the ball really well. They double motion. They misdirect guys. They try to move the linebackers in. They'll do another motion to move the safety, and they'll just throw right behind that guy. And I'm going, okay, cool. So this is one of these Shanahan joints. I didn't know that it was Clint Kubiak.
Yeah,
I don't know who he is. I don't watch film on coaches, but I just watch.
You don't remember Gary? You too young for Gary?
I know his daddy, but I ain't know that. I don't know, nepotism, whatever. But he coaches, and it looks like the Shanahan stuff. So I'm like, man, this would be a fantastic opportunity to see Mike Zimmer go into work versus Shanahan guys, right? Because if there's any reputation that Mike Zimmer has, is that he puts hands all over the Shanahan guys. And I'm not here to poo-poo on Dan Quinn or anything like that, but I think if he was the DC going into this game, we would have a lot more troubles and struggles with just movement and play action and just misdirection, double motions like I mentioned earlier. They'll bring Alvin, they'll line up Alvin at wide receiver and just motion him to like a new backfield thing that ain't even like
3 times further from the quarterback than people usually
they don't
are.
even allow that here, but they'll do it just to see how you react and move to it. So I think the Cowboys, first of all, I think they have better dudes. I think they have Mike Zimmer, and I think we're really fast at linebacker, right? This isn't like the Leighton Vander Esch, Anthony Barr days. We actually got bigger dudes that can run really fast, and we got smart dudes that are bigger dudes that can run really fast. So I think that'll be cool on defense, but Trevor Penning and Nick Ruiz ain't good, and I don't think Fuaga's playing. So I think that'll help you.
Oh, Fuaga is playing.
Fuaga's playing?
Yeah. But
Cool.
that just changes things. So what you have is you have a rookie whose back hurts.
Who back hurt a little
playing against Micah Parsons. So it's fine. Marshawn Lattimore's out. Fuaga is in. So they will have their left tackle, or at least he's active.
Sure.
And I would assume if he's active that he's going to play. Shout out to the super chat. Jay Litt. He said, love the show. # Go Cowboys. I love a super chat that's literally just supportive, you know?
Yeah.
A lot of times you have something that you want us to read or say, but if you just want to be like, hi, I love you, and throw in a super chat, wow, what a hero.
Yeah.
A bunch of other stuff. That is such a... You're so smart.
Huh?
I had totally forgotten. I remember when Mike Zimmer got hired, and one of my favorite things was, somebody threw it out there where it was like, here is Dan Quinn versus Shanahan offenses. Here is Mike Zimmer versus Shanahan offenses. And I had totally forgot that, Zimmer does this.
That's what
the
he does.
Smart offensive minds Dan Quinn struggled with, Mike Zimmer has been good against.
Yeah.
And that'll be important today. What you got? Show us what you got.
If you listen to
No, you go ahead,
some of the Ravens players last year, right, when they were going against a lot of the Shanahan guys, right, they were going against Miami and some of this other stuff. It was like, hey, you this is just window dressing. This is just messing around. This ain't like football for real. And I think like Quinn, like really not Quinn, because Quinn just says Micah line up and save us and all that kind of stuff, but. Zimmer, what he'll do is he aggressively plays the motion stuff. It's kind of like this, Jeff. If you were running at me and you tried to shake me, I'm not very fast. So you'll shake me if I go for your shake. But if I just run through you, I'll tackle you. So a lot of times what happened is with a lot of this movement and motion, it's a lot of guys guessing. It's a lot of guys just let me go this way and see what happens.
Just hit them all.
Just go for the football and play sound football. Last week, what we really noticed going against the Browns is that the gap assignments in the run game was much better than I've ever seen in the past 5 years. That sounds hyperbolic than I've ever seen. But Chris Richard wasn't getting down like this. Kiffin wasn't getting down like this, all these other guys. So I think Mike Zimmer and his scheming and not just asking dudes to be good, I think is going to work out for us.
We love it. All right, we've got matchups to watch. I'm going to do the 2-eye in the sky for Aisha, the most important matchups to watch in this game, and we'll have Vach Lombardi here to help me break it down. But first, I do need to tell you about our friends at Sleeper. I need you to download that app and use the code DLLS Boys, DLLS Boys, and that'll get you hooked up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Matter of fact, I'm going to make some picks on Sleeper right now. You can't see it, but I'm on NFL. Looks like Cooper Kupp is on sale. We're going to go over 73.5 yards. I mean, more than. We'll go Lamar Jackson, more than 53.5 rush yards. CeeDee Lamb, yes, he'll score a touchdown. Bam. That's what you do. And you make as many picks as you like, which can get you all the way up to 100 times your money. So get the Sleeper app, use the code DLLS Boys to get that match, and you will be off and cruising. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. And I also want to talk about game time. What time is it? Game time? For this, you need the code DLLS, okay? $20 off your first purchase with the code DLLS. Terms do apply with our friends at Game Time. And what Game Time does is whatever you want to go see. Whether it's a game, you want to go to the game, you get on Game Time right now and go get you a ticket, get you a sweet deal. You want to go to a concert, you want to go to a comedy show, you want to go to whatever. Game Time has you covered. Just go find whatever upcoming show you want to get to, and our friends at Game Time will take care of you. They've got all-in pricing. You toggle that feature, and it's going to show you the entire total up front, so you don't have the surprise fees at the end. You know what I'm talking about. You're like, sweet, I'm going to this thing for $40. Check out, $500.
Taxes and fees.
No,
boy.
get those fees shown right away. Lowest price guarantee, or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Get the Game Time app, create an account, use the code DLLS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account, redeem the code DLLS. What time is it? Game time! Which transitions us into our Game Time. Hold on. I need the wording. We've got our game around the league brought to you by Game Time. Look at that. The Game Time look right. It is on the thing. How about look up and look at the thing?
What?
The Game Time look around the league. And here's all you need to know around the league before we get back to the Cowboys. Tua is not going to retire.
Damn.
That's what you need to know. Tua is not retiring. He had another concussion, and he's not retiring. There's no timeline for a return, but he's seeing specialists. He'll continue to do so, and then one day we'll know. And also, Jordan Love is officially out, and Malik Willis will start for the Packers, which is weird because I thought Jordan Love was 3 to 6 weeks, but they were pretending like he might play this week. He will not. Malik Willis will start for him. Bam! Back to Cowboys.
Can we shout out
Shout out whoever we want.
Miss Suzanne in the chat, please?
Yeah.
Can we please just pull up Miss Suzanne? Jeff, read that, please.
Jumped on to support Jeff being on his own pregame show, and there's Vach sliding into the show to help his guy out. Great show, gentlemen. Always great knowledge being shared.
You need more friends like Vach, bro. You need more friends like Vach.
I had a different view of it.
You did.
I was about to get my shine on and do an incredible pregame show, and then Vach came to snag some spotlight.
I'm a narcissist, Jeff.
Super chat from Will Be Friend. Sending $5, Jeff and Vach, to share a good vibes hug.
Hell
LFG Cowboys. I mean, you want us to hug right now? Just a little touch one?
That's
Little tap
good.
one?
That's
Okay.
enough.
Yep.
That's
Okay.
enough. That's enough.
Two eye in the sky. Normally, it's our chance for Aisha. Get it? Two eyes in Aisha. Eye in the Sky is the film. It's just the matchups to watch with Cowboys and Saints as we get ready for the game.
I watch them.
And I got a bunch of them.
Okay.
The first one we mentioned in the first segment. Talise Fuaga is active.
Sure.
Their rookie first-round left tackle, who, I got to tell you, man, he was a stud on tape in college, and I wanted that dude on my football team so bad, but I knew we couldn't have him because he was going to go too soon. That's okay.
Yeah.
So you got Micah Parsons against a guy whose back hurts that's a rookie. Over under 2 sacks.
I think Michael Parsons will. Derek Carr is not going to be as slippery and escapey as Deshaun Watson is, but he can run around a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I don't think it's just going to be Michael versus Fuag. I think it's a lot of scrubs you can just line them up against. I think Penning over at the right tackle ain't good. I think Ruiz ain't good. But to your point, the rookie whose back is hurting right now is probably primed to go go get him.
Yeah, let's go see how that feels.
Go get him. But over under, shouts out to Sleeper. Yeah, over under. Yeah, I'll say Micah plus 1.5 sack. That's always how they do it. It's always a half, and then you got
to do the half because I can't. Yeah, 2 is a bad number for me to say.
Yeah,
Micah
1.5
or 2.5.
Michael go out there and put hands on the rookie whose back hurt. But Jeff Kavanaugh is DeMarcus Lawrence back.
I don't know.
2 sacks, a forced fumble, and a stuffed.
He was never gone, but like back as a sack guy.
Pass rush guy, yeah.
I'm gonna hold off on that. We'll just keep watching.
He gonna go so crazy.
It's hard to turn up your pass rush in your 30s, but he's always been a great player. He's not a double-digit sack guy, no. But
to your point,
I'll take it.
To your point, Michael versus goofy ass offensive line. I think that's a good matchup.
So actually, I want to go somewhere and skip around because of something that you mentioned. You mentioned Derek Carr not being slippery, and we're talking about Micah Parsons trying to sack Derek Carr. So I went just because I was watching film, not because I purchased something that made it easier to sort through things and find certain scenarios. Certainly not, just because I watch film. But last night I decided what I wanted to do, because this is what interests me going into a football game, is when they got to have it, what do they run? Like my idea when I was going to watch, and I watched every Saints third down play from week 1. And it was just like, what do they run? And what I was thinking was like route combinations and who do they go to and like what would stick out, right?
Sure.
But what stuck out turned out to be something a little different than I thought. You will have a chance to get sacks.
Sure.
Because in week 1, I'm going to tell you what Derek Carr did. 3rd and 15, 3rd and 19, 3rd and 9, sometimes in field goal range, sometimes in their own end, on plays where a lot of guys would go, I'm going to check down, get some yards, get us an easier field goal. I'm going to get some yards because 3rd and 19, hell, we're punting anyway. Let me just make sure that we get as far as we can. Sure. You know what Derek Carr was doing on those plays? Throwing bombs.
Yep.
They're out here to convert third down no matter what it is.
Mhm.
They are not out here to check down and get a few yards. 3rd and 19, they threw a go ball to Rashid Shaheed.
Mhm.
PI, first down. 3rd and 15, they had a double crosser route. Olave was open, but it wouldn't have been a first down. So he threw it deeper to Shaheed, incomplete. They didn't convert. 3rd and 4, 59-yard touchdown. Rashid Shaheed. So maybe that's the other part. They will go for it on 3rd and long, and they will throw it to Rashid Shaheed very far.
Which is wild because on regular downs, they're just getting rid of the ball quickly, and it looks like a real football offense. But like on 3rd and 4th down, it's like Madden. We just going for it. we just go. We're not, Cowboys run draws and screens when we're in 3rd and long. They shoot the shot. But let's move on.
All right, let's go check in with our second Cowboys beat writer who's at AT&T Stadium and say hello to Joe Hoyt. Tell him something, Joe. Hey, Joe. Hey,
What
Clarence.
is up, guys? In the press box, we got Clarence too.
Always
What's
got
up,
Clarence. We're just hanging out. Clarence gave us the actives and inactives. Give us whatever else we need from the stadium. Or if you even want to preview your story, I read your CJ Goodwin story on alldlls.com this morning, and I thought it was really cool.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, CJ Goodwin, long shot to even make the NFL, has now been in the NFL for over a decade. Kind of crazy. Check it out on alldlls.com because it's great insight into just to the process of being an NFL pro. But the thing I'm watching today is no Marshawn Lattimore, which you talked about with Clarence. But how does that affect, what maybe Jalen Tolbert does, maybe Brandon Cooks, Marshawn Lattimore, not a guy in the slot. So that wasn't really going to affect CeeDee Lamb. But we'll see if maybe Jalen Tolbert or Brandon Cooks can take a step this game.
Do you sit right next to Todd Archer at the game? I saw Todd Archer. It looked like he just sat down next to you.
Yeah, I got Clarence to my left and Todd to my right. So.
Oh, look, you're just surrounded by vets. That's what I'm talking about. I saw Derek Eagleton walk by too. Shout out to Derek. Sweet man.
Yeah, this press box is filled, man.
Yeah, it would be great to see one of the non-CD receivers, and I guess Cooks showed up. He had the touchdown, but we talked so much about the battle for third receiver and who's going to be the guy and who's going to. And I hope the answer isn't just kidding. It's none of them, but no Jake Ferguson and no Marshawn Lattimore. Sounds like a good time for another pass catcher to show up for the Cowboys. So hopefully one of them will. Who are you betting on, Joe? Tolbert?
I Cooks over Tolbert on that. But one thing I'm also watching is what's going to be happening at right tackle. Terrence Steele is playing without a knee brace today. Did last week too. That was something that restricted him last year. He's got to go up against Carl Granderson or Chase Young, that combination. I think he held up well against Darius Smith and Myles Garrett last week. Can he do it again? That's something I'm keeping an eye on today.
All right. Joe, enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you in the post-game. We love you.
Later.
So it was wild because I was reading his piece this morning, Botch, and I know what's going on in your brain because we mentioned CJ Goodwin because I'm the same way. And I'm reading the article, and what's really tough sometimes is when you humanize somebody and you learn their whole life story.
You go,
I was like, yeah, I'm cheering for him.
I'm happy for him.
And right before I clicked it, if you're like, tell me about CJ Goodwin, I'd be like, it's crazy that a 34-year-old's on this team just to run down on kickoff. We should cut him.
For somebody younger and fast. Yeah.
And then I read it, and I'm like, hell yeah, CJ Goodwin. I hope he does great on kickoff today.
Yeah, but shouts out to him, man. CJ Goodwin's definitely gonna play 21% of the snaps today for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
For sure. Jeff, let me ask you a question, man. Do you think this is a day that we figure out more about the run game? I thought last week, if you're beating the hell out of the Browns or whatever, I thought the second half would be a fine time to work out the kinks in your run game, but they did not. They just started throwing the ball around a little bit. So do you think that we try to find more balance between the three backs, or do you think we should just try to get Zeke and Rico going? I know pass pro is going to be a big deal here, but this is me trying to advocate for Deuce Vaughn getting a couple more carries.
Okay, if he's going to be on the team and active,
yeah,
give him 5 carries and see if you have some sort of juice. Because what's going to happen is that takes me to an interesting stat that I have for you, Vach.
Hurrah.
Did you know that the Saints last week allowed 8 yards total after missed tackles, the lowest in the NFL? They tackle. And so I'm looking at this game and I'm wondering, okay, if you play against a team that does not miss tackles, maybe what you need to do is see if you can find some juice for somebody that can do something like that. Because I'm not hating on Zeke after week 1. I do think he looked a little better than I thought he would. Sure. But still, between him and Rico, I don't see either one of them being like, bam, avoided a tackle, and now we're about to break this thing out of here and go for 60. I don't see that happening with either of them. not that Deuce has long speed, but he will make a guy miss.
Yeah.
He will not fall down if you don't square him up, and maybe he can make some big plays. So I think it'll be for both teams because they played Carolina last week.
Sure.
Doesn't matter. And the Cowboys beat the Browns so bad in the first half that the second half told us nothing because they kind of put it neutral. So, yeah, I think we'll learn a little bit more about both of these teams if this is a competitive game.
And it's funny. People gave me a hard time for Zeke and Vach. You need to apologize. He averaged 4 yards a carry. Technically, Deuce did too. Deuce with his 1 yard and 1 carry and 4 yards. Andrew in the chat had a brilliant observation. He says going to need to come up with a Deuce emoji.
I think they have one.
Find the baby emoji. Or the smallest person emoji or something like that. Or just like a deuce, like a number 2, whatever y'all want to do. That'll be the deuce emoji. But
I was thinking the white people version. Because when we say the word deuce, we think about the poo emoji. It's a number 2.
I'm confused.
If you're you dropping a deuce, it's going to the bathroom.
Y'all call it that?
Yeah, sometimes.
All right.
Thank you, Katya. Well timed. Yes, that is something you'll only get here.
Well, hey, look, we got a little diversity on the panel. We ain't finna call it that. We ain't finna do that.
Please hit the like and subscribe, and this is a great time to tell you to do that after that incredible, poignant observation by me. See, there's a deuce from BC.
I refuse.
Yeah.
Do you think that I'm sorry, I'm just taking over your segment, John.
No, do what you want. I only had one more matchup, but you do what you want if you don't want to hear what I have.
Go ahead.
Chase,
do you think the Saints D line is good enough? Do you think the Saints D line is good enough? Cam Jordan has been a dude his whole life, but watching film on him, he looked a little old. And Chase Young is the best pressure getter, but their nickel corner is the dude that gets all the sacks. Yeah, Taylor.
Alontae Taylor.
Taylor.
He blitzed 4 times and had 3 sacks. So, Dak, just know that corner might blitz from the slot. No, I think it's a big matchup again for Tyler Guyton because Chase Young had 6 pressures last week, and looking at where they came from, every single one of them came from right end, which is going to be lined up across from your rookie left tackle, who I don't want to be too negative about going against the defensive player of the year last week, but Tyler Guyton struggled. Garrett didn't wreck the game, so we'll take it. But Guyton struggled, and so now you're going to have another opportunity for enjoy. You're going to play against another guy who had a really good week 1 that, I don't know, he never became the player I thought or that they hoped he would become. No. But he's still got something as a pass rusher, and you have to stop your quarterback from dying. So that's another big matchup.
Yeah, there was a lot of glamorization of Zeke and Tyler Guyton's day. I hate I had to involve Zeke in that, but a lot of people glamorize it a little bit. Tyler Guyton indeed didn't play a great game, but that's Myles Garrett. Nobody plays a great game, but you didn't die. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can
didn't go full Chaz.
For sure. So you can only hope that, hey, Chase Young, you're good, or at least you had 9 pressures, 8 pressures, whatever it was, versus Carolina, whoever the hell they wrote out there at left tackle. I think it was Cam Fleming or something, I believe. But Chase Young ain't Myles Garrett. No, he is not Myles Garrett.
Not close.
And I think if you hit Chase Young enough, he'll actually get lazy and not hit you back. So I think this would be a great day for Tyler Guyton to continue to acclimate himself versus top tier pass rushers.
I am going Dallas Cowboys. I don't even know the spread in this game, but I'm going Dallas Cowboys 30, New Orleans Saints 20. Am I right?
I don't know.
Can you get close? You don't do it? Oh, you don't even. Oh, my God.
You know me, man. Yeah, look, I ain't changing.
You are such a coward.
Shouts out to all this setup and all these lights and all this money.
No predictions allowed.
I ain't changing.
What a weird guy.
Making no predictions.
What a weird guy.
Somebody want to know my height and weight. For what?
What is your height and weight? Hit the like and subscribe button, please. We sure would appreciate it.
I'll tell you what.
A number 1 is going stand-up potty. A number 2 is going sit-down potty. Somebody told me.
Now that you tied together, taking a number 2 and a deuce, it makes sense now. But my community just don't call it that.
I know. That's why I said Caucasian or white people.
For
it's
sure.
a very white people thing.
But 6 foot 250. I'm back at playing weight technically.
Whatever a deuce is to you. Leave that emoji in the comments.
Well, a deuce could be a lot of things.
We want to know what deuce is. What is deuce emoji? We need that in the comments.
A deuce is something that keeps us safe. A deuce is when people play spades. They don't call it two. They call it, deuces or something like that. Or when you like trying to holler at your partner. Deuce. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those are deuces.
All right, everybody, enjoy the game. He's Vach Lombardi. I'm Jeff Kavanaugh, and it was good to see you. And we'll see you again after the game. Get ready for the postgame show. We'll be partying. Vach says they're going to win 50-3. That's what he told me his prediction is.
Indubitably.
Remember, you have no idea what anyone's going through, so be cool to everyone. We love you. Be easy. Go team.
Be nice, hoes.
We all silly like the mayor.